Legends of last year still haunt Oklahoma wheat farmers today. Heavy rains destroyed much of the 1982 winter wheat crop. At a time when growing wheat is a business without much of a profit, bad weather is the last thing a farmer wants to see. Forecasters are not making any long-term predictions on how much rain farmers can expect this year. But for 1983, many state farmers say they now need more rain. And given a choice, they would take a damp season over a dry one any day.
As our wheat begins to put on its rapid growth, I think we can use an inch of rain per week from here to harvest, which would be approximately 8 more inches. I've been through droughts, and I made up my mind a long time ago that I'd rather farm with a lot of moisture than without any.
Burris says feeding cattle part of his wheat crop helps ensure he will make some money off the land. The fatter the cattle, the larger the profits will be when his stock goes to market. And Burris feels any wheat farmer expecting to remain in business should have other ways to survive besides harvesting wheat. Ed Stewart, Action 4 in Yukon.
In the 1930s and 40s, whooping cough claimed hundreds of lives in Oklahoma, most of those being children. Since that time, the disease has been controlled through vaccination. In 1981, for instance, there were only 2 cases reported, but reports of whooping cough diagnosed for the first 3 months of this year already stand at last year's total of 8. State health officials are concerned that parents may be foregoing the inoculations for their children due to recent publicity about the vaccine. There have been cases where children received permanent paralysis because of side effects of the vaccine. But doctors claim those chances are less than 300,000 to 1, and at the same time contend the disease itself is far more dangerous.
If the child does get the disease, if it goes the full route with complications of whooping cough developing, that also can lead to a form of encephalitis or swelling of the brain. They could also lead to some paralysis. And it seems to us that the risk from the disease are far greater than the risk from having the vaccine.
Health officials around the state are urging all parents to have their children inoculated as soon as possible. Kevin Ogle, Action 4.
The heart-shaped Zomax pills are frequently prescribed for people who have arthritis or bone injuries. But some people have been having allergic reactions to the pills, and 5 deaths have been reported. It's thought people allergic to aspirin may also be allergic to Zomax. And so for now, Zomax will be temporarily pulled off the shelves.
McNeil would, I assume, have 2 alternatives. One would be the packaging instructions I mentioned. Another would be a total recall, which will come about if the drug is indeed implicated as being a big problem. It'll be recalled. But at this time, it's temporary withdrawal, meaning that the dispensing is being discontinued for now.
So if you are taking Zomax, the best advice now is to consult your pharmacist or physician so they can prescribe an alternative drug until all the questions are answered about Zomax. Bella Shaw, Action 4 at the Poison Control Center.
It has been said that freedom is not free, but I tell you that every generation must win freedom again, anew. We cannot rest on our laurels of the past. We must continue to fight for the liberty that our founding fathers gave us. And to bring America right on those things that are good.
Being strapped into a lie detector is more than a little bit disconcerting. Polygraph examiner Clarence Pelton said everybody gets nervous, but that doesn't stop him from getting accurate readings. Before beginning the test, Pelton has a prospective employee fill out an application. He then asks questions based on the information provided. All the questions can be answered yes or no. The procedure itself is simple, but the ramifications of making someone take a lie detector are complex. Representative Don Denman has pushed a bill through a House of Representatives committee that would prevent the use of polygraph tests to get information from prospective employees. Opponents of the law say not allowing employees to use polygraph tests could endanger the public. For example, owners of apartment complexes have to hire people who have access to a person's residence.
Would you rather the applicant be nervous when sitting for a job for a sensitive position, or would you rather be nervous when he enters your home and you have no idea what this person is? When they deal with matters of privacy, then privacy has to be checked.
Rector says the proposed legislation is hypocritical because it would allow law enforcement agencies to keep using the tests to screen new officers. Representative Denman responds that's a special situation because law enforcement officers carry weapons and have authority on the streets. Denman isn't sure polygraphs are accurate, and he says the test situations grossly interfere with the right to privacy.
It's not fine, in my opinion, to take some guy who is out of work, who desperately needs a job, may have a family and children that have no way to eat if he doesn't get one, and say, we're going to strap you up to decide whether we're going to hire you, and we're going to find out anything that we choose about anything that's happened in your life from your birth to the present moment.
So now it's up to the legislature. They'll have to consider two things: whether these squiggles are accurate and whether they unduly infringe on a person's privacy. Bill Ross, Action 4.
It looks like Oklahoma City will have to make do with police and fire personnel on staff now. The city manager's office is asking for a full hiring freeze in those departments. Last year, a modified hiring freeze was approved that still allowed the police and fire departments to take on new employees. But since sales tax revenue continues to drop, city officials think they can save $800,000 this fiscal year if no more officers or firefighters are hired. Police don't know how long the freeze will be in effect, but are still preparing to accept new trainees.
I haven't received any information at all about how long the hiring freeze will last. Our routine procedure is to establish and maintain a qualified applicant pool so that when we do get authorization, whenever that may be, we will be in a position to very quickly call in and hire those applicants to start a school.
The current class of police trainees will graduate at the end of March. At that time, there will still be 30 vacancies in the department. When this class ends, instructors will take time out during the hiring freeze to evaluate training methods. Police administrators think the needs of citizens can still be handled at the current staff levels. And police say they will continue to accept applications because they have worked too long and hard toward getting people interested in becoming officers. Ed Stewart, Action 4.
We'll pick up cans and papers too. Oh, yes, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pick up Oklahoma City and around your sidewalks too.
What?
Yeah,
Musical trash collectors gave the city's sanitation department some competition today. 40 Oklahoma Christian school seniors gathered garbage around Lake Hefner as part of a trash-a-thon. Sponsors pledged about $1 a mile. The seniors scooped up debris over a 3-mile area.
You take your group and let's go down this road right here and go all the way up to the marina.
The money earned will finance the school senior trip to Silver Dollar City. That's reason enough to get your hands dirty, but some seniors had other reasons for helping out.
Do you like to pick up trash? Between this and sitting in classroom, I guess so, sure, why not?
What makes you come out and do something that you don't want to do?
The school. It was either this or go to school.
It's not something I prefer to do, no, but if it helps the city and it gives the Oklahoma Christian School a more highly reputation, then we'll do it. We'll be glad to do it to make our school look good.
The $3,000 worth of trash collected today will benefit the high school seniors. The rest of us will benefit from living in a cleaner environment. Scott Wallace, Action Forward, Lake Hefner.
She was probably in the only position in the house where she could have survived blasts such as this.
Was she the only one in the house?
Yes, her and one of her pets. And the pet got out also.
This is the way a lot of people celebrate St. Patrick's Day, by dancing an authentic Irish jig to the beat of authentic Irish folk music. This is the way even more people celebrate St. Patty's Day in Oklahoma. Guzzling green beer and just plain whooping it up. For many, the Irish holiday is a convenient excuse to get drunk. The Oklahoma University Student Union bookstore has also gotten into the St. Patrick's Day spirit this year. The store's display case is plastered with slogans and shamrocks. Sayings like, an Irish 7-course meal, a 6-pack and a potato. Irish safety slogan, never drink and drive. If you hit something, you could spill it. Greeting cards reflect the same message with pictures of leprechaun lushes boozing it up. Some Oklahomans are unhappy with that kind of attitude towards St. Patrick's Day, especially when it occurs on a college campus.
I prefer to see the holiday celebrated in such a way as to put forward a very positive image of the Irish character. I think that the Irish immigrants have made a good contribution to the culture of America. I think there's a lot in our heritage which is very positive, which results from the Irish contribution.
This country capitalizes on these kinds of holidays of other people, of other nationalities, in a strange way, and this is sex and booze, and that's not new.
Oklahomans will have ample opportunity to celebrate St. Patty's Day however they see fit. A few will even take a few moments to remember the saint who brought Christianity to the Irish. Scott Wallace, Action 4 in Norman.
Interstate or foreign transportation and sale of wildlife taken illegally, a federal offense. Penalties for this offense range up to $20,000 fine or 5 years imprisonment or both per offense.
Mine too. I got plenty dirty this morning. What, are you keeping cards here? Is that what that was?
A studio we think was worth $18,000 to $22,000. We're not exactly sure yet, and that's about a fourth of what we were able to raise last year. So that when you lose 25% right off the top, you're also looking at something that is not only worth 25% of what you raised, but it's something that we could have used 10 years from now. A lot of it was designed to last a long time.
strictly from the standpoint of growth. The fifth place, they're kind of a toss-up in my opinion. There's move those heifers. Thank you. Let's give them a nice round of applause.
It's been nearly 5 years since work started on the myriad gardens in downtown Oklahoma City, but it will still be a while before the public is allowed in. Most of the landscaping on the west side of the project is done. It cost about $1 million to beautify the area with expensive greenery. So far, a total of $8 million has been spent on Oklahoma City's urban oasis. City officials say money continues to be the holdup on completion.
I think it's frustrating in that we didn't have all the money up front. It's working with city government, working with federal funding, of course, always implies that there's going to be some restrictions on when the money comes down. But I think people who are in this business realize, that you can't do it as fast as you would like for it to do, or like for it to come online.
Construction of the pedestrian tunnel on the west side of the project is well underway. Officials say with any kind of luck, the Myriad Gardens could be the site of the 1984 Arts Festival, but only if enough work is done to consider the area safe for visitors. In addition to the tunnel, other features inside the garden are retail stores and a modern amphitheater. However, the Botanical Bridge will be the eye-catcher here. City leaders continue to be proud of the fact that this is a very unique project. They would be even more proud when the job is finally complete. Ed Stewart, Action 4 at the Myriad Gardens.
If all that happens, then we will be in a position to have the recess that we've talked about. As we feel that we will be able to address the immediate...
It's on the Senate calendar right now.
The House of Representatives passed a bill last week, which is now in the Senate Appropriations Committee, which in effect allows $7 million to be loaned to the Department of Human Services from the Insurance Protest Fund to address that shortfall. We feel that if we will go ahead and pass that bill now and make that $7 million immediately available, that will solve the problem for the month of April and perhaps the month of May, and so it is our intention to go forward with that bill.
The problems that the department currently is experiencing are very minor compared to next year. So we're going to have some long sessions dealing with what cuts can be made during the next fiscal year or what changes in revenue would be provided.
It's been 6 months since the Oklahoma Horsemen's Association celebrated the approval of a pari-mutuel betting petition by the state's voters. That petition allowed each county to decide whether it wanted pari-mutuel. Last September, there was talk Oklahoma County, because of the large number of people here, would be a likely site for a track. But other counties have reacted much more quickly. Sequoyah County has Blue Ribbon Downs, and voters there, as well as in Love County, have already given pari-mutuel the thumbs up. This model racetrack and entertainment center has been proposed for Carter County. Voters there make a decision next week. But there are good reasons why something like this hasn't been suggested for Oklahoma County.
The high value placed on real estate property here, it really would be a major investment in Oklahoma County. And for that reason, nobody's going to jump into it not knowing what they've got to deal with. And when the governor signed the pari-mutuel bill yesterday, That's the first time they've really known for sure what they have to deal with, whether or not there's going to be any racing allowed on Sunday, the biggest day. And those kinds of factors are important to investors, and I think now you'll probably see a lot of people popping out of the woodwork that have been strangely quiet until now.
So it's probably going to be a while before Oklahoma County has its own version of Ruidoso Downs. Williams estimates it would cost $45 to $50 million to build a first-class facility. And even if someone got approval from Oklahoma County voters and the Racing Commission by midsummer, he estimates it would be 1985 before a track was ready for business. Bill Ross, Action 4.
And flex, and up, and flex, and up, and flex.
Fitness is more than just a fad. It's a way of life for many Oklahomans. Some believe a sound body will prolong life. All of us look better with trim tummies. Unfortunately, most of us can't achieve a beautiful body by ourselves. We need guidance. A good fitness instructor is concerned with more than just taking your money. A well-trained teacher will want to keep track of your health.
Has everybody, find your heart rate. Find your heart rate. You found it, yours, Kay, keep moving around. All right. We always monitor heart rates. That's so nobody gets too far up there and is working too strenuously for their heart to handle it. When a person starts an exercise class with us or an aerobics or whatever, we ask them if there's any special health problem we need to know about so that we can, handle them individually as the class goes on. For instance, if they've got weak lower back, we say, don't do this exercise, do this one instead, things like that.
All of us should be careful when starting a new exercise program, especially as we grow older.
Big, deep breath, and blow it out. All right, one more time, to the right, and back.
Part of that caution should extend to our choice of exercise instructor. Scott Wallace, Action 4, Northwest Oklahoma City.
Pull that waist, get that waist moving. All right.
It costs a tremendous amount of money to farm. With the high cost of production and low prices for agricultural products, many Oklahoma farmers have been forced out of business. When this happens, some farmers sell out. Usually an auctioneer is called, and farmers gather from miles around to try and get a good deal on machinery. But this year, auctioneer Quentin Jenkins says things are different.
The farm machinery sales are so depressed. They're mostly depressed, and there haven't been many sales in western Oklahoma as far as farm machinery sales.
It's so depressed that you just aren't having them.
Well, they're just not having them. They're just not really, and land sales are not moving, and last year we sold lots of land. This year, there are no land selling.
Well, farmers wanting to get out of the business, are there just not any buyers?
No buyers or no sellers.
Jenkins, who's been in the auctioneering business 35 years, says he expects an upturn in agriculture in about 2 years. In the meantime, oil industry officials have been calling for his services.
We've been selling lots of oil field equipment auctions over the country, drilling rigs, service units, trucks, tank trucks, all kinds of heavy equipment. They are cutting back, a lot of them are, and we've had lots of sales for banks and repossessed equipment, and we're selling a lot of stuff like that.
Jenkins says he doesn't have any idea what might happen in the oil industry, but he wants to continue auctioneering, whether it's on the farm or in the oil patch. Ben McCain, Action 4.